good, the bad, and the odd. You're so cool, Brewster.
Welcome to this episode of The Good, the Bad and the Odd with your host Mark and Sam. Today we're talking about another 4 episodes of the first season 1 of The Flash and what we've been up to since last time. Hi Sam.
Hey.
Right, if you want to contact us, it's www.thegoodthebadtheodd.com. All the links, emails and iTunes and Stitcher and ways of interacting with us, Facebook, are all on there. So that's the way to do it. I'm going to play a promo now for a podcast that I've already mentioned in the past as one of my favourite. In fact, it is my favourite podcast, which is Chin Stroker versus Punter. And I'm giving it a name check specifically here as well as playing the trailer because it's coming up to its 300th show, which is pretty cool. I think they've been going about 8 years or something. However, we're on 300 and something. We've overtaken that.
Oh, okay.
We're closer to 400. We're on
these youngsters.
Yeah, but they've been going longer than us. So it's just I crammed quite a few in extra, just odd films here and there in our first couple of years. So that's why the numbers come up quite a bit. So, so I just wanted to give those a shout out. It's a great podcast if you never listened to it. And here's the trailer.
Are you tired of film podcasts where the hosts exist in a constant, blissful state of agreement?
I mean, the main characters are two of the dullest main characters I have ever encountered in any film.
Well, you're in luck. Let me introduce you to Chin Stroker and Punter. One is an ex-film student with a penchant for David Lynch and art cinema. The other is a man on the street. Listen in perplexed and horrified terror as we tear apart one film a week.
Just really
It's not visually striking.
No.
Just getting confirmation.
It's just that's the third time though. I mean, is this on?
You can find us at chinstrokerversuspunter.podomatic.com. So come and share the victory.
Okay, so let's get on to let's pull up the comfy chair.
Get the comfy chair!
Right, Sam, what have you got on your list?
I've only got 3 things. A documentary film,
Okay.
a video game, and an anime.
Right, I've got about 9 things, but they're a mixed bag, so I'll just go through some of them quickly. Shall I go through my first 3?
Yeah.
Okay, my first one is another podcast, a podcast I just listened to that blew my mind. You got to try listening to this podcast. It's called Last Podcast on the Left, right? It deals with real life horror stuff, but both xenomorph, aliens, demons, witches, real life crime. It throws in there. It throws in all sorts. But these guys are absolutely hilarious. And the thing is, they seem to be very well researched. They talk about stuff and they know their stuff, but all the time they're making fun of each other or making fun of whoever they're talking about. In particular, an episode I listened to that made me laugh my head off was one called Horrors in the UK, which starts off really funny, but it gets quite depressing towards the end because it deals with Ian Brady and Myra Hindley. And they, child killing and all that, which is a bit depressing. But the first element, the first part, they talk about the legend of Spring Hill Jack, who was a Victorian kind of phantom. And man, it is super, super funny. And I've already listened. And before I listened to that, I watched not long ago. I think I talked about Helter Skelter, the TV movie about Charles Manson and his family. Family in inverted quotes.
Yeah, I think you might have mentioned it too.
Yeah, but I listened to their podcast of it, and it was amazing. It was like over about 3 hours telling you all about the history of Manson. But one of them was imitating Charles Manson all the way through it. So he's going, hey, look at me, hey. And it was super funny. But I have to recommend, give it a try. I had it in the car, and people in the car with me were laughing their heads off too, so it's not just me being weird and laughing at something that's a bit odd. It's genuinely a funny podcast and informative.
Okay.
So I'm going to be listening to a lot more of those. I've got a few ones like demons and witches and stuff like that lined up to listen to. I think they're going to be good fun. Anyway, my next one was a film from the 40s. a thriller, a kind of spy, espionage thriller, kind of precursor to James Bond kind of thing, called Ministry of Fear, based on a Graham Greene story about a guy that accidentally gets involved in these Nazi spy ring and it starts uncovering. It was fine. It was like a 40s noir thriller kind of thing. It was fine. Set in Britain, which is okay. And then I watched another film from the 40s, British film from the 40s, called One of Our Aircraft is Missing. And this was like a story of airmen who get shot down over Holland, occupied Holland, and parachute out, and then how the Dutch people help them escape. And even once they've escaped, the Germans then shoot the civilians that help them. And it's based on a true story. So it was kind of a procedural. It was a quite dry kind of film. You know, it was like they did this, then they did this, and then they had to dress up, and then they went here, and then it was that kind of thing. There was a bit of tension here and there, but it was a fairly procedural kind of film. Anyway, so that's my first three. Your go now.
Okay, that was two.
No, I talked about the podcast Ministry of Fear and One of Our Aircraft is Missing. That's three.
Okay.
Yeah. Go on.
Okay, now the first thing I saw was the documentary film by Michael Moore called Sicko.
Oh, about the NHS?
It's not about the NHS, it's about the American health system.
Yeah.
Which is really depressing considering some of the stuff.
I mean, he puts it, as a documentarian, he doesn't keep himself much in the background, does he?
No. He actually, from what I've heard, I was surprised how little he was in this. He didn't really become a factor until the second half, when he ended up taking, as a form of sort of protest against the American health system, he started taking a load of 9/11 responders to Guantanamo Bay, where the healthcare was free for the prisoners. They get better healthcare in Guantanamo than in mainland America. And in the end, he just they started ringing alarms, and he went just onto mainland Cuba and got I think they said that the medicine that they got in America was thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
And here they got it something really cheap, dirt cheap, maybe $100 at the most, maybe even $1.20.
Wow.
For their for necessary medicine. There was a woman who she'd been having trouble breathing since 9/11, and this was in 2007, so that's 6 years of hell for her.
The American health system's properly messed up. It's being milked for all it's worth by sort of profiteers, and it's kind of, unfortunately, our country's kind of starting to go that way now. It's being forced through, which is a real shame. But it's there's, what are you going to do? Leave the country, kind of thing. Let's just hope it just doesn't get as bad as America.
Actually, he did follow a load of American expatriates.
Okay.
Who'd left the country and gone to France or UK.
Why? Had they left because of the healthcare?
They'd left, and they laughed at the notion of going back and paying as much money as they do.
Yeah.
Did for.
It's funny
health.
once the idea's there that you shouldn't. It should all be part of the taxation system, or you should, have it at a reasonable cost at least. It's kind of gets laughable, doesn't it? Was it good?
Yeah, it was really interesting, and it ended on a quite funny note because he'd been going through some French, he'd been going around French houses asking about how they sort of do stuff, and it was a woman with a baby, and they had a government paid nanny with them. Yeah, and he was just asking what she does, if she does anything other than take care of the baby. And this woman was like, "Oh yeah, she'll do the laundry if you ask her." And it ended with Michael Moore walking up the steps to Congress holding this big basket of laundry. So,
wow!
It's just funny.
Yeah.
Funny.
He's done quite a few documentaries. I don't think I've ever seen one. But he gets a lot of crap, doesn't he? Because he's a fairly left-wing kind of guy, and it's America and that. And he can be he's a bit slobby looking, so he's an obvious target. I'm sure he's been on South Park. I'm sure he's been...
he was in Team America.
Was he?
Yeah.
He was.
Blew up Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so it's an easy target, but that sounds interesting. Okay, I'll go for my next theme. My next one was a horror film, extreme horror, French film called Martyrs. Have you heard of this one?
No, I haven't.
It's extremely gruesome, and I wasn't a fan. Not because of the gruesomeness, it's the fact that I just got to a point where when you're watching a film and you're seeing a young girl getting beaten over and over again and you're starting to feel bored, you know that the filmmaker hasn't got it right. As far as you're concerned, it was kind of... I was angry because I was feeling bored. It was like, if you're going to show me this over and over again, you've got to make it work. Not just like me become numb to it, or do it a different way. But it's extremely highly regarded by many people as like a really great horror film. But I thought it was a bit grotesque, frankly. And there was a plot. The thing is, I don't want to get into any spoilers, but there was an element in the first part which suggested either supernatural elements or sort of mental, psychological elements, which wasn't explained. Once it got to the second half, it just disappeared. It wasn't a thing anymore. It's like, oh, that's really annoying. I did not like this film. I watched it because I sometimes podcast or go on a podcast called United Nations of Horror where they're talking about Martyrs. So I watched it just so I could send in some feedback, and I'm interested to see what they're going to say about it. I think their podcast due out the next day or two. But I wasn't a fan. I thought it was a bit stupid. And I've had this trouble with other French horror films that are touted as really great. I watch them and I think that's stupid, and they just don't appeal to me. It's not the blood or anything. It's when it doesn't. They're using it. It doesn't work. Take the Texas Chainsaw Massacre for example. Not hardly any blood in that, but it's massively effective. And they don't just drag it out and drag it. Oh no, in fact, they do drag out something right at the end. It goes on and on, but it's unbearable to watch. It's not boring, It doesn't bore you, whereas this did. Anyway, the next one I watched, I think this was to cleanse the palate really, is Wizard of Oz. I got it on Blu-ray, so I finally watched it on our lovely telly here. Man, it looked good, and it was it really works. It really does work. And I actually watched some of the references Wizard of Oz, which I'm not going to talk about yet, but it was a lot of fun.
Was it The Wiz?
No. It wasn't The Wiz. But The Wizard of Oz really works. But it is kind of funny when I watched something not long ago where it was telling you how dangerous that film was. Like, people were like getting poisoned by the paint and this and that. And the bit that always makes me laugh now...
the horse died.
The horse died, did it?
Yeah.
Well, the bit that always makes me laugh is the snow that's sort of suppressing the poison of the poppies. But the snow is actually asbestos. They used asbestos as snow.
Oh my God.
So they're raining asbestos down. It's such an irony that to save these characters from poison, they're pouring asbestos on them. So it's like, whoa. So that was kind of funny. And my third one is I watched do you know Quatermass?
Yeah, I know of it.
Yeah, well, Quatermass, it's more famous for its films, which Hammer made, but prior to that, it was actually a BBC serial in three different serials. Quatermass Experiment, Quatermass 2, and Quatermass and the Pit. I've watched the original BBC Quatermass Experiment and Quatermass 2. Quatermass Experiment, it's not the full thing. They only have the first 2 episodes. The rest of them weren't recorded, so there's no record. All there is scripts, which is a shame. Yeah. But it was, the first one was okay. You could kind of see why people were struck by it, because it must have been quite something back in 1953. But it looks quite archaic. Whereas Quatermass 2 was pretty good. There was all 6 episodes that were present, and it veered from really good to stupid, which was probably some of the effects didn't work. There was bits where there was a rocket disengaging, and it looked properly. You know how Thunderbirds looks like models? Well, this looked like about 10 times worse than that.
Oof.
They were kind of wobbling as they were coming up. You know what I mean? It just looked like models on string. But the actual drama was pretty good, and I had some good actors. In fact, one of the actors in it went on to win an Oscar 4 years later in Ben-Hur, and he was a good actor. And there was some pretty solid acting in it. There was a couple of actors who were terrible, but mostly it was a pretty solid serial, and I'm glad I watched it. And I'll be moving on to Quatermass and the Pit, the TV serial of that next, sometime this week, I think. So that's my next 3, so back to you.
Okay, now the next one I've been doing is I've been playing this MMO game on the PS4 called Warframe, which is about future cyborg ninjas
Nice. I like it already.
fighting big... one faction that's like a big Wayland Yutani sort of mega corporation,
Okay.
and the other that's this weird clone army.
Yeah.
It's really fun, surprisingly so, because
This
it's
is
so,
PC,
so
right?
simple.
PC.
No, this is on PS4.
Oh, right. Oh,
I think it is on PC. I'm fairly certain it is. It might be
is
on
this
Xbox.
one of the free ones?
Yeah, it's free.
I might have got
Full
that,
stop.
you know. Is it come out recently?
No, it came out a while ago. I got
I
it
probably haven't then.
months, maybe years ago.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a ridiculously fun game because it's so easy to just pick up and play. 'Cause
Oh,
the missions are all about 5 minutes long.
that sounds
and-
cool.
You can just blast through them.
So what is it like? If you got a higher level perspective, looking down on these guys, is it that
It's a
kind of
third
thing?
person sort of thing.
So is it a bit
You'll-
like Diablo, or is it?
No, it's more
turn-based?
like Fable sort of thing.
I'm with you. Right. Yeah.
Yes, that
Yeah.
sort of third person perspective.
Okay. Okay.
So,
right.
yeah, as I say, it's really fun. You can just go charging around, and you got all these different weapon types and guns and all sorts of stuff, and it's really, as I keep saying, really fun.
Yeah. That sounds good. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was saying that because I was just thinking about my next choice. Sorry, that's why had that tone in my voice.
Okay.
Okay. Is it free? Do you know?
Yeah,
Sorry,
it's free.
It's free now, is it?
Yeah,
Cool. Say it again. What's it called?
Warframe.
Warframe. All right, that sounds cool. Okay. My next set I watched a Disney. Now I've seen almost pretty much every Disney animated film, but this was one I hadn't seen before, and it was. Do you want to take a guess?
Black Cauldron.
Black Cauldron. Black
Yeah.
Cauldron. In honor of it's Black Cinema Month. So it's, no, all right, bad joke. It is actually that, but
What with its entire white cast? And, well, I don't know who. What
Black
the
Cauldron.
ethnicities of the voices.
do you know
voice actors
anything
are.
about it at all?
What the Black Cauldron?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know John Hurt's the villain.
Yeah,
He's
yeah, he
probably
plays
the most
he plays
intimidating
the
villain in Disney.
Horned King. Now, this I've heard that this is like one of those forgotten classics that hardly anyone's seen, and yeah, because it didn't do well at the box office, hardly anyone's seen it. I watched it; it was terrible. It was. I mean, the animation was good, but it was kind of like a bizarro version of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
Instead of a ring to
It's a
get
pig.
power, it's a pig. It's a clairvoyant pig and they're looking for the cauldron that can produce an army of the dead. But it kind of, there's a character. I swear to God, you're gonna have to find this online. There's a character in it called Googie or something, which is like
yeah, I know him. He's
half-
a weird, like he's the Smeagol replacement.
Yeah.
except he's sort of more good aligned.
Yeah,
and he
he's-
looks like a midway between a monkey and a mogwai.
I was gonna say he's like a dog monkey.
Yeah,
And the voice is exactly like Gollum from
Yeah.
Peter Jackson. Exactly. I'm not joking. I could not believe it when it started talking. Now, obviously, this came first,
yeah.
but it was stunning. Like that's. We were watching it. We were like making comments about, oh yeah, look, they got to avoid Mount Doom. I mean, and some of the names of the stuff, it was like, instead of Mordor, it was Mornuth or so. It's stuff like that. It was like, this is ridiculous. And apparently, it's based on a set of books that's based on like Welsh mythology. But honestly, it was pretty much Lord of the Rings. But it had this, because it was so unfocused. It was both at the same time. It was like, this story's going nowhere, as well as this story's really being rushed. Do you know what I mean? It was
Yeah.
like, I don't know what's going on. It was only like 65 minutes. And man, it was... Kids must have been terrified. There was like big skeletons looming up at you with like claws and...
Yeah, and then at the end, the Horn King gets ripped apart.
Yeah, it gets melted.
Yeah.
I mean, it's proper face melting stuff going on. It's a bizarre. It was terrible. It was like, oh God Almighty, why did I watch this? But it was like one of them films you were sitting there thinking, now it's gonna get better in a bit. It's gonna get better, and then I was like, no, it didn't. It just, and then it ended. It was like, oh God, why did I watch that? So that was a bit annoying. But funny enough, there was one voice in it I recognised, apart from John Hurt. There was a few voices I recognised, but there was these 3 witches in it, and one of the witches sounded exactly like Witchy Poo from H.R. Pufnstuf. And I checked it, and yes, it was the woman who was Witchy Poo in H.R. Pufnstuf.
Yeah.
So this led me to cheer
Billy
myself
Hayes.
up. I watched some H.R. Pufnstuf.
Yeah. She did a surprising amount of witch-related stuff after.
Yeah, and she's really good as Witchy Poo. We watched one episode. It's the one episode where, like, this, I think it's the sister of Pufnstuf turns up, and they're like making goofy films, and the witch dresses up as like a film actress, but it's still the witch, but she's like wearing glamorous gear. It's really bizarre. It's a series that's completely nuts, but it just makes me laugh. And of course, it's riffing. I didn't watch. It wasn't that long ago when I watched Wizard of Oz, and of course, Witchy Poo is basically the Wicked Witch of the West as well.
Yeah.
With a comedy broom, a vroom broom, and it's all her little sidekicks made me laugh. Like the spider. There's a little spider guy,
Spider,
and a
stupid
vulture.
bat.
And there's a bat that just flies into walls, and it does make me laugh that there is another witch or someone who's actually got a rat sidekick who wears a
who's a Nazi. I
stormtrooper. He
remember
wears a
that.
stormtrooper's helmet. It's like wow. It's a goofy show. It was. Oh man, it made. I was thinking, why didn't I just watch 3 episodes of Pufnstuf? Not watch the Black Cauldron at all. It would have been much more enjoyable. And then finally, this time definitely in honour of Blaxploitation Month, I watched one of the.
Wait, Blaxploitation or Black Cinema Month?
Well, it's kind of everyone's watching Blaxploitation films because, like, from the 70s, if you say black cinema, it's pretty much Blaxploitation. Apart from a few Jamaican films, it's pretty much, for the American films, it's Blaxploitation mostly. But this is one of the crowning achievements of Blaxploitation. It's Shaft from 1971. It's super cool. The stuff this guy wears, he wears he's got a leather trench coat he walks around in New York in, and while wearing, get this, like a suit underneath, like a sports jacket, and underneath that he's got a polo neck sweater, a roll neck sweater tucked into his trousers, and he's like rocking it down the middle of New York, and he's like punching out Italians that give him out trouble and all sorts of stuff like that. At one point you'll have to excuse my language, I'm just quoting the film. At one point this Italian guy confronts him, and he's sitting there drinking some espresso. Right, it's an espresso shop, and he goes, "Hey, I'm looking for a nigger called John Shaft." And he goes, "Sit your warp ass down. I'm finishing my coffee." And he goes, "Would you like one? I could ask them to put garlic in it." He's not taking that shit for no. And at one point, he actually gets shot, but he still carries out this massive mission. Once they dig the bullet out, it's bananas. And at one point, he's on this sort of. He's got this job, and he's really intense, and he takes a break to sort of make love to his woman. And there's a lot of that stuff in this. Isaac Hayes, the voice of Chef, done the soundtrack. There's all this, "I want to love you, baby," all this in the soundtrack. And after that, he goes off and he meets up this copper who's like put him on this case and sort of trying to get him to work on it really hard and stuff like that. He goes, Hey Shaft, what do you got? He goes, "I got laid."
Jesus.
Yeah, it was fun. It started off, and I thought, this isn't going to be as good. I must have seen it about 30 years ago. Was the last time I watched it, and it started off, and it looked quite cheap and cheerful, and I thought, this is not going to be as good as I remember it. But no, it was really great. Richard Roundtree is really good as Shaft, and the thing is, he takes no crap from no one. At one point, he turns up, and he has to go see this head gangster, and I say, "We've got to search you, man." He goes, "Nah, you're not searching me. I'm leaving." And he says, no, but we got to. He said, no, you're not touching me. And basically, he outpunks the punks who basically let him in to see the head gangster with his gun. It's like, because he just will not be searched by them. It's super funny. It was a lot of fun.
Wow.
I really enjoyed it. What's your last one?
My last one is an anime called Parasite. This is an anime based on a fairly old manga. It's from like the 80s.
Right.
But it's about this this fella called Shinichi, who he gets attacked by a parasitic creature it goes for his head, but he's able to like block it and it gets stuck in his hand.
Right. And
it slowly unfolds that these parasitic creatures are like everywhere, and they attack and eat people, and they take over a person's head, and then they go all Cronenberg and The Thing, and turn into these like gaping maws and horrible tentacles and whatnot.
It sounds very Cronenberg. It sounds like Shivers or Videodrome or one of them.
But it's just the head, so it's like a human body with like all these tentacles and spikes coming out the top.
Okay.
This
What's
main
the source of the parasite? Is it
it's
alien?
spelled the same as the word parasite, but with a Y instead of the I.
Okay. What's the source of them? Is it alien or something?
It's as far as we know, as far as I know, it's aliens so far. Because the introduction to the like larval stage is you see this weird ball sort of float down from the sky, and then it opens up, and this little worm thing crawls out.
Nice.
But Shinichi, him and the parasite that's now taken over his hand, who he dubs Migi, which is right for in Japanese.
Right.
They fight these parasites.
Okay.
So he's got this weird hand that can shapeshift into spikes, tentacles, and all sorts of horrible things.
It sounds like that game Prototype.
Yeah, a bit, but more sort of, instead of him turning his whole body into the horrible blades, it's just his hand.
Oh, okay. Cool.
It's a really fun to watch series, and it's getting really messed up really quickly.
It does sound a bit like a Japanese take on Lovecraft, doesn't it?
Yeah, it is very Lovecraftian, actually.
Funny enough, I didn't mention it, but Quatermass is like, alien. The first one is an alien gets into a guy and he starts changing, which is very Lovecraft. He gets it in outer space, outside the planet. So it's very Lovecraftian too. Cool. So what is it, serial?
It's anime. I guess you'd say it's a serial. It's like story based, but so like everything has knock on effects.
I don't mean it. I mean it's not a one-off film. It's a
serial. Yeah,
an episodes. Oh, okay, cool. Is that on Netflix?
No, I found it on the internet.
Okay, Parasite with a Y. Eh?
Yeah,
cool. That sounds good. Right. Okay, I think that winds up our comfy chair section, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to Flash and get on with it.
Get on with it. Yes, get on with it.
Get on with it.
Okay, so we watched 4 Flashes. So we usually do 3, don't we? But we did 4 to sort of accelerate getting towards the end, because after this we've only got 4 left. Yeah. Right, so let's think. Last time he was trying to build a
travel back in time.
Yeah, he was trying to stop a tsunami by going fast enough to create some sort of sonic barrier, and he actually travelled back in time. So this episode 16 is called Rogue Time, and Barry is basically starts to realise what's going on, but Wells spots that
Wells knows what's going on,
and sort of warns him that he should not change anything. But Barry doesn't listen at all, does he? But he's all excited because him and Iris had this romantic thing going at the end of the. So he reckons he knows how Iris feels.
Yeah.
But and he ignores Wells's advice that the universe will just figure out how to do what it was going to do in the first place. It's a bit like Doctor Who time, isn't it? The river keeps flowing. He captures Marden before he can take Joe, really quite early on, really.
Yeah.
And what else happened? Let's have a look.
He sets up like an arrangement with Iris and tells her how he feels, and then gets punched by her police officer boyfriend.
Yeah, quite rightly. And I know I'm jumping to the end of the episode, and that's got kind of resolved in a really goofy way.
Yeah, that was so stupid.
Snow what's her name?
Caitlin Snow.
Caitlin Snow tells him that he's suffering from But was it speed?
Lightning shock.
Lightning shock, which caused him to have these kind of traumatic episodes where he does things he doesn't mean, and they go, "Oh, okay, so that's okay, buddy. Don't worry." It's like, oh, and that's it. Like, what?
Yeah. But the main story of the episode is Sisko is kidnapped by Leonard Snart, the Captain Cold.
Yeah, and his good-looking sister,
Lisa.
Yeah, and how did he get his gun back? I was a bit confused by that. Didn't he?
He didn't have his gun. He
they forced Sisko to build it.
Lure Sisko in,
and then Sisko
had him build
the guns. And also they turn up with a gun that turns things into gold, which seems to me most ridiculous premise for robbers to use a gun that turns things into gold to rob something. Don't you just shoot things and sell it? Anyway, I want one of those.
Maybe
guns.
it's like pyrite or something.
Yeah, maybe. But if ever I had a gun that shot turned something into something else, the one that turns things into gold would be the one I'd have. And basically they're threatening to kill Sisko's brother, aren't they? And we get a scene where we see Sisko getting like angry with his brother.
Yeah, his brother's being deliberately smarmy and stuck up.
And he's flirting with Caitlin Snow. Does that happen? And
I'm surprised she didn't mention the whole fiance thing, but...
she didn't know. So basically, Barry's messed things up properly by not allowing the time streams to go on. But, at least he stopped the city getting covered in the tsunami. And who knows?
Always an upside.
And also Sisko has to tell him who Flash is, doesn't he? So Barry goes after brother and sister Snart, and Snart basically says, if you interfere with me, I'm going to reveal your identity. And in probably the weakest scene so far, they kind of agree, as long as he doesn't commit a crime in Central City...
No, it's as long as he doesn't kill anyone.
Right. Then Barry won't try and stop him. I didn't quite figure that out. It sounded a bit...
I think it's a case of this neutralizes everything. Barry won't immediately just take him into the prison.
Yeah.
As long as he doesn't.
It doesn't really work, does it? It doesn't work as a concept.
But I think they have something similar in the comics, at least. Captain Cold is head of a group called the Rogues. Who, they've organized crime, but they have loads of rules about it, like no killing, no yada yada yada. All this.
Okay, so there's a nod to the comics. It's kind of cool. And then we see the Reverse Flash kill Iris's boss, isn't it? Or
it's a co-reporter who has loads of information on Harrison Wells.
Yeah, and Barry's. That makes Barry start thinking Wells is really a bit dodgy.
Yeah.
He's kind of got that in his head, which we've all thought from the beginning. It's kind of like that. Okay, just before we get into the next one, I think it was this week, there was news that they're going to be making a cross episode with Flash and Supergirl. Did you hear this?
Yeah, I heard about that.
Have you watched any Supergirl?
No, I haven't.
I've watched some. I can see it working. Supergirl's kind of a fluffier version of this, even. In some respects, most of it is even lighter in tone than The Flash, except for the fights. For some reason, the fights in Supergirl are more brutal than the ones in Flash. So it's tonally a bit odd. It looks like it should be for littler kids than The Flash.
Yeah,
but then the fights are really brutal, so...
Yeah, I think. Well, I've seen some GIFs of the fights in Supergirl, but they're comparisons with Man of Steel,
right?
And they seem to be I think the proper term is they've used the same rigging.
Okay.
So it's the same animation. They've just layered a different skin over it.
Yeah, it does actually feel a lot like Man of Steel. Yeah, now you've said it. I hadn't pulled it, especially episode 1. Episode 1's got a pretty good episode. She actually stops an airplane crashing, and it reminded me of Man of Steel and actually Batman Returns. Batman Returns, Superman Returns.
Well, that's like a classic sort of starting Superman story.
Yeah,
It always stops a plane from crashing.
Yeah, I'm kind of enjoy it as a series, but anyway, we're getting a bit aside the point. It was just because they're doing this crossover. I think it'll work. Fine. Okay, that brings us to the next episode. One I've been looking forward to seeing a long time, actually.
Yeah.
Tricksters.
Yeah.
So we get Mark Hamill coming back as the original Trickster, locked in prison, and they start with a kind of Hannibal Lecter thing. He's in a cell and they're asking him stuff about this new Trickster.
And they have to give him candy rope.
Yes, that's right, to keep him happy. And
licorice, rather.
And it starts off with a little packet of little bombs, little presents falling out of the sky in parachutes, but then turning out to be bombs once they land, and it's like a kiddies play area.
Yeah.
Which is kind of brutal.
Yeah, that's kind of messed up.
It's very Jokerish, isn't it? I mean, I guess that's intentional, but it's very Jokerish. And of course, we used to Mark Hamill as the Joker because he does that awesome voice work for Batman, animated Batman stuff.
He pretty much uses that voice.
He does.
I mean, if he just tipped his head back and fully let loose at the laughter, that would have been just the Joker.
Yeah, he was laughing. I felt he was okay in the cell. A little flat in the cell, but as soon as he got out, he was. As soon as that first interview was on, anytime after that, he was full Trickster. I really quite enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But I felt when I was first, I was thinking, he's a bit flat. But he got into it for sure. And I kind of liked. I like the whole vibe of him. Basically, it was a setup, wasn't it? He set up this other guy to be the Trickster as a way of getting himself out and becoming the Trickster again, and that was kind of fun.
I loved that finally Mark Hamill is getting to do the "I am your father" thing.
That was funny. They did the old Empire Strikes Back thing. I'm your father. That was fun. I think the guy that was his son was all right as Trickster Junior. He was fine. He wasn't outstanding, but he was fine. And I did also like the way to trick him was I like the fact they put a bomb on Barry's wrist, and in a really great bit of exposition, he goes like speed. You slow down, you blow up. So he has to keep running. That's the trick. Which is a nice trick.
Was it just me, or did they start making loads of references to other films and TV shows?
They did a bit, yeah. I mean, there was that.
Because Trickster started talking about Breaking Bad at one point.
Yeah, now I haven't seen that show, but I recognised it was a reference to something I hadn't seen.
Yeah, no, he just said it's like this will be like Breaking Bad.
Oh, yes, he did. Yeah, it was kind of cool that Wells basically come up with on the spot how. I mean, he obviously knows because he's probably done it himself. He knows how to get rid of these sort of things by vibrating these molecules to face for objects, which is kind of. So we're getting a new flash skill in this one.
Yeah,
and he basically runs
again.
through.
It's something from the comics. So this is something he uses quite frequently in the comics.
So he just runs through walls and gets rid of things. It's a nifty way to knock out villains, actually. And that basically runs through a wall, and the bomb gets left behind and blows up. And then they figure out an antidote. Basically, the Trickster's giving everyone a slow-acting poison, and he won't give them the antidote unless they all put their money in his bank account, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But the team basically work out an antidote, don't they?
Yeah.
And
I do like how he comes up with a giant, I don't know what it would call a burlap sack, and is like, "You're gonna put all," and he comes up to the little podium, and people start going like, "Well, what are we gonna? We don't bring money anywhere," and he goes, "Okay," and pulls out a automatic banking thing.
Yeah. He's fun. This is fun. This is definitely a fun episode. It was worth waiting for, definitely. And later on, for no real good reason, I thought it could be me. He lets Eddie know he's the Flash, basically because he wants him to stop Iris from looking into Dr. Wells. He's worried Wells will catch on and something bad will happen.
Yeah.
It's a bit needless, really, because he could have got a dad to do much the same thing, perhaps. But basically,
I mean, because Eddie's living with her now.
Yeah, I suppose
I guess he'd have more he might have a bit more sort of say in what's going on.
Yeah.
So.
But Barry's pretty much convinced at this point that Wells is the Reverse Flash.
Yeah.
And then we see a scene that kind of confused me a bit, which is basically we see the Reverse Flash killing, killing the mother, kind of, but not killing Barry, wasn't it? I can't remember.
He was going for Barry, but it was Reverse Flash and the Flash fighting in her front room.
And the Reverse Flash runs away, but suddenly his power runs out.
Depowers.
And he's got this computer that comes out of his hand, a face.
Yeah, well, it's the AI from his room.
Right, okay. And he basically he tells him that travelling back through time has drained all his powers. And then this guy who's what's his name?
Eobard Thawne.
He looks different, doesn't he? He's a different guy, but he basically starts stalking the actual Dr. Wells. So we've gone back, 15, 20 years, or 20 years. And if he knows that Wells he basically knows when his accelerator will be built that gives him his power, but he needs it to be done faster. So he kind of sucks the life out of him and takes his appearance and kills Wells. And also his Wells's fiance dies in the accident where this happens as well.
Yeah.
So basically this guy's set up an accident so the fiance dies, and he subsumes Wells' appearance and sort of personality just so he can build this accelerator fast. So all the time we've been watching it, this wasn't Wells, the original Wells at all. It's this guy, which is
there was a Wells to begin with, rather.
Yeah. Now I missed this. Was the Wells that was there before? He wasn't crippled, was he?
No, he was perfectly fine.
So I'm still trying to work out why.
The idea was he was crippled in the reactor explosion.
Oh, okay. Right, okay. And so there's a kind of... I was a bit confused for a bit because Wells didn't look that much younger than he does now, and it kind of confused me. But there you go. Anyway, that brings us on to... So, pretty solid out. Did you enjoy this one?
Yeah, it's this one was... I just liked all the Trickster stuff.
I believe the Trickster comes back in later series.
Yeah, the just Mark Hamill gives a good performance every time.
Yeah, it's good to see Mark Hamill, isn't it?
And he also did a sort of similar. He was the Trickster and as well as the Joker in the Justice League cartoon.
Oh, really? There was the Trickster in that?
Yeah, he briefly sort of showed up in a Flash-centric episode.
Right.
And Flash sort of talked him down before he did anything, but it was kind of sort of similar.
Nice touch.
It's a bit Hannibal Lecter-y, but...
I was looking into some of this series, and they do use a lot of people from the original series. They've obviously used Mark Hamill. Barry's dad in this is the original Flash in the 90s series. And I didn't realise it. You know the woman that they got the tachyon drive from who heads the lab?
Yeah.
She was a character in the original Flash. Both the actress and the character she's playing was in the original Flash. No, which I didn't know. I was trying to recognise her. I kind of know her from somewhere, but I couldn't put a finger on it. So I looked into it, and I looked into her, CV on resume on IMDb, and she was in the original Flash as the same person, which was interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so episode 18. This was kind of cool. It's called All Star Team Up.
Yeah, I think this is one of the ones where you need to have watched Arrow as well.
Yeah, it was kind of, we did follow it. Basically, Felicity turns up with her boyfriend, who's called Ray Palmer.
Yeah, he's the Atom.
Who's the Atom, which is basically Iron Man.
No, he can shrink.
They didn't do that in this episode. He was just flying around like Iron Man. So I don't know the Atom. Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. The suit's called the Atom, but he was basically Iron Man in this. Now, I was watching, I was thinking, this guy's pretty good. He reminds me a lot of Superman in Batman Returns. And it is it's Brandon Routh or Ruth.
Yeah, I do like his introduction. Is that a bird? Nah, it's a plane. It's like, yeah, we get it. It's Superman.
Yeah, we know. So that was kind of, I was feeling a bit bad for him. I think, wow, to come down from being Superman in his own film to being a sub-character in this. But he was pretty good. He's always good.
And I
liked him.
He's one of the stars of that Heroes of Tomorrow thing.
Oh, the new one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. What is? Do you know anything about it?
Heroes of Tomorrow is kind of like an Avengers thing. So it's got Captain Cold and Firestorm from this. It's got Ray Palmer. It's got Black Canary, and it's got it's got the guy that plays Rory in Doctor Who as something.
Oh wow, that's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, he was pretty good in this. I quite. He's in Scott Pilgrim as well, isn't he? He's quite good in that.
Oh yeah, he's the third Evil X.
Yeah, I believe he's one of the Evil X's. That's for sure.
Yeah, he's the vegan. The super vegan.
Yeah, they're really, flaunt it. I'm a vegan type.
Yeah.
Kind of take the mickey out of vegans that go on about being vegans. This one's kind of goofy. It involves robot bees.
And they even made a joke about an infamous sort of storyline called Amazon's Attack, where the Amazons use bees to knock out the population of Washington DC.
Yeah,
so it's stupid.
Yeah,
but they do make several quotes from it. So
right. Oh, I wouldn't have known that.
I know bits of it only because of stupid jokes on the internet.
Right. Oh, okay. You've been reading up on it.
Yeah, a bit.
Okay, but these bees are controlled by this scientist who worked for the woman that whatever they borrowed the tachyon thing from
Tina McGee.
That's it. She's an ex-employee who was a bit of a loose cannon, I think. That was the impression you get. And Barry's doesn't know whether he can tell Cisco and Caitlin about what he thinks about Wells, because he's kind of not sure whether they know or not, but we know. It's obvious from their personalities they're not going to work for the Reverse Flash, so it's a bit of a drama. Yeah. We know that they're not like that. Isn't there a bit where the Breeze go on to attack the woman who was the ex-employer? I'm trying to remember.
They're able to get they're able to. Oh, if I remember rightly, they've got Ray flying about, trying to distract. He's trying to protect the woman.
Yeah.
While Barry's also running cover, and as well as trying to find the snubbed employee.
Yeah.
And you've got the blonde scientist, Felicity, trying to hack the bees at the same time.
Yeah, and it's kind of made me laugh. It was a bit cool. When she finally hacks the bees and they'll drop down, she just stands up and goes, "Drop the mic."
Yeah.
Whoa.
As well as just staring at her, she just sits down and starts fiddling with the little bank mics that they have there.
There was also another touch where she gets on a key. I can't remember what she said, but she basically gets on a keyboard and says something like, it's been too long. She's been away from a keyboard for too long. It's kind of makes me laugh. She's funny, Felicity.
Yeah. I like the whole bit at the start where they're like, yeah, we've been having some problems. And they've gone to do a whole innuendo riddled bit about it.
Yeah. Yes. I have to say, these inserts from the Arrow make me actually want to watch the Arrow.
Yeah.
It's starting to make me want to watch the Arrow. Though I've watched a bit and it's like, whoa, I've no idea what's going on. There's way too much backstory I don't know anything about. But this was one of the better ones. I kind of like Felicity and I like Ray Palmer as well.
Yeah.
And the bits I've seen of the Arrow guy, Oliver, are okay, seem okay.
Yeah,
but it's Batman. It doesn't appear to me. I don't know the Green Arrow that well. It feels more like they're setting him up as Batman.
The idea with Green Arrow, is he's basically a sort of communist, more comedy focused Batman.
Yeah,
he makes jokes and one-liners.
Arrow doesn't do.
From what we've seen.
No, yeah, that's true. So anyway, Barry then tells Caitlin and Cisco that he thinks that Wells is the Reverse Flash. Cisco then says, we see that Cisco has dreams that we saw in the parallel timeline where Wells kills him, and he's been having dreams about it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of an odd crossover thing.
Yeah.
Kind of a cool episode. It's not as good as the Trickster, but it was pretty decent.
It's always good to have these extra superheroes step in. So
It was cool. And the next one, kind of a cool premise. We get a metahuman that can shapeshift. Basically, he can copy anyone he touches.
Yeah.
And then they can't work out if
because he copies them on a cellular level.
Yeah.
They're worried that he might get the speed.
So they're basically the Flash can't touch him. It's contact. He gets this ability, and there's a lot of jokes. His first name's Hannibal, so there's lots of jokes about who would call their kid Hannibal and not.
Yeah, if I remember rightly, his last name's Bates as well.
Yeah, Norman Bates. Yeah, Norman Bates. What a terrible.
Hannibal Bates. The everyman.
And he takes basically Eddie. He frames Eddie, doesn't he? He takes Eddie's shape and sort of frames him for murder.
He shoots some cops.
It was kind of dark.
While this is going on, it's got Joe and Cisco searching for anything that might tell them about Wells.
Wells, yes.
So
they go to the other. They go to
Central City. We get Black Canary shows up.
Yeah, now that
not
bit
in costume.
Yeah, I was wondering if she really was Black Canary.
That is Black Canary.
But she got Cisco to make him. Some sort of alarm or sound device?
Oh, it's Sonic Screamer. It's what she uses to do the stupid shout thing.
So basically, I don't know what the Black Canary does. You see, so basically,
martial artist and this screaming power. Though usually it's just a power, not like technology.
Right, so Cisco's basically made her screamer better or made it work or whatever. Hannibal then... Hold on, let's get this right.
He gets into Barry's house and copies him.
Yeah, and there's kind of a comedy thing where they're talking about things and he just makes comments like, oh, it's her, but he doesn't know anyone. He hasn't got Barry's memories or anything like that, has he? Caitlin works out a way of suppressing Hannibal's power for a short time, but while he's in the room pretending to be Barry, which is kind of fun. And
then Wells shows up and just tases him.
Yeah, he kind of knows. Joe and Cisco start investigating the car accident where Wells' wife died.
And they find Wells's actual body.
And they get DNA, don't they?
Yeah, they like exhume the corpse and I don't know if it's exhuming, if it's like a shallow grave though. So
and they get help from a police captain, don't they? Which I'm assuming this guy is a character in Arrow as well.
It's
he's pretty good.
It's Black Canary's dad. So
okay, all right. So so they know that whoever's in the lab isn't the real Wells. They know he's like this imposter, and they don't they then uncover the secret room and find the Reverse Flash costume.
Yeah, at the end, the sort of sting before the credits is they find the Reverse Flash costume and that newspaper that Wells occasionally goes to.
Yeah, now I thought Wells had some sort of portal into the future, but it appears like it's a newspaper he brought back with him.
Yeah.
And so, it's just something to remind him of because he kept referring to the Flash disappearing in 2020 or something.
Maybe it's it's like a sort of trope where like in Back to the Future where he brings back, or he has the photo of himself.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it's like that where it changes based on. I don't know.
Yeah. It's kind of cool episode. It's building to a climax. It feels like they're peaking too early. It feels like this should be like 1 or 2 away from the end, but in fact we've still got 4 episodes. But having said that, one of the episodes was about Gorilla Grodd, so I'm really looking forward to that as well. So we've got 4 more to go in this one. Pretty solid series still, really quite enjoying it. How about you?
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I might actually go and try Arrow again. Honestly,
well, let me know. I might
get more of this.
I'm not sure we'll do it 3 or 4 shows at a time, but we both might watch Arrow and then just talk about the whole series, maybe.
Yeah.
At some point, just keep in touch with me. Let me know how you're tracking it, and I'll kind of try and keep up if I can.
Yeah.
And we can just talk about the whole series, a bit like we do with Clone Wars. But I think talking about the Flash has been kind of fun. 3 or 4 at a time. It kind of works. There's quite a lot of plotting going on as well, isn't there?
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool. All right then. Should we call it a a day there, and I think next week we were talking about Cobra, but you know what? Deadpool's out soon.
Oh yeah, I forgot
So
about
maybe
that.
we'll
Yeah,
go see Deadpool.
we got to do that.
Yeah, we have to do Deadpool.
Yeah.
It's probably. I was thinking about this. There's not many films I'm looking forward to this year. It's probably Deadpool and Rogue One, and maybe, depending on the reviews, Batman and Superman. I'm not sure.
I'm actually kind of looking forward to that. Captain America, obviously.
Oh, the Civil War.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm sort of looking forward to that Jungle Book by Jon Favreau.
Are you really? Oh no.
Yeah,
I'm not.
the
Really.
new trailer does look pretty good.
The only other one I think I'm kind of interested in is Suicide Squad. I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's getting off topic. Let's say bye. Bye from me.
Bye.